So it's UFC on ABC, Nurmagomedov versus Corey Sandhagen. Let's take a look at some of the fights on this card. The first fight I'll be breaking down is Don'Tale Mayes versus Shamil Gaziev. Shamil Gaziev, 34 years old, 12-1 record, fighting out of Dagestan, standing 6'3". And he's going up against the 32-year-old Don'Tale Mayes with an 11-6 record. Now, let's just cut to the chase. I don't see Don'Tale Mayes winning this fight. Gaziev has shown he has a really nice pressure fighting style. He doesn't necessarily cut off the cage very well, but he's quite good at coming in, landing combinations. He seems to be the more technical striker in this matchup. In this fight, I'm going to go with Shamil Gaziev by a second round TKO. I don't see Don'Tale Mayes having that finishing ability, and Gaziev just, you can't really pick against the Dagestanis, although I might be later on. So the next fight is Azamat Murzakanov versus Alonzo Menifield. Murzakanov is standing 5'8", which for the light heavyweight division is very small, but he's coming in undefeated. Alonzo Menifield, 36 years old, coming in with a 15-4-1 record, and he stands at 6 feet tall, and he's built like a brick shithouse. In this fight, it's pretty clear that Alonzo Menifield has a significant power advantage, and he may have the wrestling advantage as well. The light heavyweight division is extremely shallow, so people that can come in with technical striking or wrestling seem to progress through the division quite quickly. Now, Azamat Murzakanov is a very technical striker. He's got really crisp boxing, and he likes to put the pressure on his opponent. Looking at the fight between Dustin Jacoby and Alonzo Menifield, Menifield just didn't seem to have the technical ability. Now, it seems Alonzo Menifield has all of the attributes to be a successful light heavyweight, but none of the skills. He throws these wide swinging hooks without any real setup, and blast doubles and naked low kicks. For me, Azamat clearly is undersized in the light heavyweight division, but I believe his technique and skill should give him the edge in this fight. So I'm going to go with Azamat Murzakanov, and I'm going to go by a decision. Joel Alvarez, standing 6'2" in the lightweight division with a 77-inch reach, massively outsizes a lot of his opponents. He has a really dangerous outside striking game, uses his weapons really well, lovely jab, lovely front kicks, and he knows how to win on points. If he gets taken down, he's always attacking submissions. Elves Brener is 16-4 with a 72.5-inch reach, standing 5'8". Elves Brener has that thing that you can't teach people. He's got that fighting spirit in him. And I really do love the striking of Joel Alvarez, but the takedowns of Elves Brener might be the difference maker in this fight. Joel Alvarez is coming in as a favourite in this fight, and I could definitely see him picking at Elves Brener from a distance and potentially finishing him. But what we do see from Elves Brener is a granite chin and great takedowns. So I'm going to go with Elves Brener, and I'm going to go by a decision. I think he out-wrestles Joel Alvarez, definitely takes some shots on the feet, and potentially gets a submission. Tony Ferguson has fell off badly. Lost his last 7 fights in a row. Both of these guys are coming in way past their prime. Now, in this fight, I would expect Michael Chiesa, because Tony Ferguson is a bit past his prime, to be the better striker. He showed in the fight against Sean Brady that he's able to land 1-2s. He's got nice footwork, very simple, fundamental striking, and I think on the feet, Michael Chiesa does have an advantage. The only place I see Tony Ferguson giving Chiesa any issues is with that Darce choke. If Michael Chiesa shoots a bad takedown, leaves his neck exposed, and Tony locks up that Darce, I could see this being a really lovely, easy win for Tony Ferguson to get him back on the win column and starting that title run again. In this fight, I think you'd have to be crazy not to pick Michael Chiesa, but I think watch out for that Darce choke, because there is a lot of potential there for Tony Ferguson to get back in the win column against someone who isn't super dangerous, but is willing to go for those takedowns. Marlon Vera is 23-9-1. He stands 5'7" with a 70.5-inch reach. Deiveson Figueiredo is 36 years old. He's 23-3-1 with a 68-inch reach. We've seen Deiveson Figueiredo, after moving up to bantamweight, have a massive improvement in his wrestling. And I think against Marlon Vera, this is going to be a real key for him winning this fight. I'm really looking forward to Deiveson Figueiredo showing off that counter-striking and really using that wrestling to beat Marlon Vera by decision. We've seen Vera struggle to consistently do damage to his opponents. He's one of those fighters that does nothing for 4.5 minutes and then unloads in the last 30 seconds, hoping to steal the round. I really like Deiveson Figueiredo in this fight. I think the striking is going to be nullified because both guys want to counter each other. So the difference maker in this fight is going to be the wrestling of Figueiredo. So I'm going to go with Deiveson Figueiredo and I'm going to go by decision. Sharabutdin Magomedov versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. Looking at this fight, a lot of people are picking Sharabutdin to win this fight. And I get it, but I disagree. I think Sharabutdin has shown that he has an amazing kicking game, but what he doesn't have is a finishing ability. Michal Oleksiejczuk did get finished by submission in his last couple fights, but he hurt Kevin Holland, he's got nasty boxing, and he loves to pressure his opponents. Now you'd think Sharabutdin throwing those kicks, he wants to keep it on the feet, but he wants to keep it at distance. I think Michal Oleksiejczuk is going to be able to close that distance and land hands on Sharabutdin Magomedov. I'm actually going to go with the underdog here, Oleksiejczuk. I think Oleksiejczuk is going to be able to move forward, hopefully keep a high guard against those kicks. I think he's going to be able to put Sharabutdin up against the cage, and I think he's going to be able to land hands on him. We haven't seen Oleksiejczuk go up against an opponent who isn't trying to wrestle him, and when he has, he's performed really well. His fight IQ is somewhat questionable because following Kevin Holland to the ground wasn't the smartest move. Tricoli, in his last fight against Magomedov, was a walking punching bag. He threw a few 1-2s in the first 2 minutes of round 1 and then did nothing. And we didn't see Sharabutdin Magomedov with a real ability to finish. He wasn't looking for the finish, he wasn't going for it, and Tricoli literally handed him the win. So I think Oleksiejczuk might expose Magomedov as a bit of a overhyped prospect. So I'm going to pick Oleksiejczuk and I'm going to go by a first round finish. Now, the main event. Umar Nurmagomedov, the rising prospect, is going up against Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen is going to have a 2-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. He's the older fighter by 4 years and he's the much more experienced fighter in the bantamweight division. Corey Sandhagen has fought the who's who of the bantamweight division. Against Aljamain Sterling, Sandhagen got pushed against the cage, his back taken and choked out very quickly, which makes me slightly nervous for this fight with him. But what we do see from Sandhagen is continuous evolution and improvement. Umar Nurmagomedov, if we're being honest, hasn't fought the toughest competition. I'm really looking forward to seeing if Umar Nurmagomedov can prove us all wrong and show that he really is a top 5 fighter. What I like from Sandhagen is his ability to throw volume strikes, to close the distance and overwhelm his opponents. I think Umar Nurmagomedov in this fight should have the grappling advantage and should be able to take down Corey Sandhagen. I think the big question in this fight is, can Umar hold down Corey and keep him there? If he can, he should be able to run away with an easy decision win. But I love the cardio, the scrambling and the striking out of Sandhagen. So I'm going to go with the underdog here, quite a sizable one. And I'm going to go with Corey Sandhagen to win by a decision. I think he outstrikes Umar on the feet. I think he's got the potential of landing a flying knee. I think he definitely gets taken down in this fight, but we're going to see the superior striking out of Sandhagen overwhelm Umar Nurmagomedov and hopefully start to gas him out so that in that 3rd, 4th and 5th round, he's able to defend the takedowns better and overwhelm Umar on the feet and hopefully get a late finish by TKO. I'm expecting Sandhagen to win a decision in this fight. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you agree with my picks, let me know down in the comments and let me know who you have winning the main event.